I am a very big fan of the superhero genre. I love watching different forms of media that portray people being selfless and helping others. One scene that really stood out to me was the one from Batman the Killing Joke, where the Dark Knight and the Clown Prince have a standoff and exchange one of the most profound pieces of dialogue I've heard in a while. Let's watch the scene and see how it plays out.
God damn it. Well, what are you waiting for? Kick the hell out of me and get your standing ovation.
So the scene starts off with Joker pulling out a gun on Batman, and to our surprise, it's not a real gun. It's just one of those fake ones that Joker always uses. And then he proceeds to say his classic line saying, "Oh yeah, just beat me up like you always do and get your praise for it." So, Joker seems defeated and he's just expecting Batman to do what he does to all his criminals.
No, not this time. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want either of us to end up killing the other. But we're running out of alternatives. I don't know what it was that bent your life out of shape, but maybe I've been there too.
So the next piece of dialogue involves Batman saying, "No, this time I'm not going to beat you up. This time, let's talk things out and try to work things out as men." Because right now, the Joker is really confused because as soon as Batman says no, he has this look of confusion on his face saying, "What is this guy up to this time?" And then he proceeds to say, "I don't know what it was that bent your life out of shape." And that line really stood out because he has so much emotion. Credit to the voice actor for delivering that line with such power, because that line was great. So this leads us to our next question. If Batman is supposed to be the smartest person ever, the greatest detective of all time, how come he can't piece together the true backstory of the Joker? Well, honestly, no one can. It's even stated in one of his comic books, and I quote, "If I'm going to have a past, I prefer it to be multiple choice." Because we see in different adaptations where the Joker always changes his backstory, that it's never matching. To give a quick summary on what most people agree his backstory is that the Joker used to be an engineer at a place called Ace Chemicals. He quit his job to become a full-time comedian, but that was a big failure. He had to find other ways to make money because he also had a pregnant wife at home. He joined a group of criminals to rob Ace Chemical Labs. However, before the robbery, he found out his wife passed away along with his unborn child. So he was already going through a lot, but he still had to go through with the robbery. So while he was at the labs robbing the place, Batman and the police show up and try to stop him. In a rush to get out, the Joker fell into a pool of chemicals, and that caused his face to deform and give him that clown-like appearance.
Maybe we could work together. I could rehabilitate you. You don't need to be alone. You don't have to kill each other. Let me help you.
Now I love the words that Batman chooses to use in this next sequence. "Let me help you. You don't have to be alone. I could rehabilitate you." Those words are very powerful and could be the reason that Joker might actually accept Batman's help. After years and years of chasing Joker, stopping his criminal activities, and beating him to a pulp, Batman decides to take a different approach, to actually offer him help.
It's far too late for
Joker responds with no, and this is really impactful because he had a long pause before he made his answer. He thought about it, analyzed it, and probably thought to himself, is this the one time someone's offering me help? And when was the last time someone's wanted to see me change in my life? So this really goes to show that Joker was probably thinking about accepting it but realized he couldn't, because the next thing he says is no, it's far too late for that, which goes to show how deep Joker has gone into this hole, how many atrocities he's committed, and the fact that he doesn't think he can change is really scary.
you know, it's funny. This reminds me of a joke. See, there were two guys locked in a lunatic asylum. And one night they decided they didn't like that anymore. They decided to escape. So they made it up to the roof, and there, just across this narrow gap, they see rooftops stretching across town, stretching to freedom. Now the first guy, he jumps right across, no problem. But his friend, oh, no way. He's afraid of falling. So the first guy, he has an idea. He says, hey, I got this flashlight with me. I'll shine it across the walk across the beam and join him. But the second guy said, what do you think I am? Crazy? He just turned it off and went halfway across.
The last segment of this scene is what really makes it a masterpiece. So Joker starts by saying that Batman's dialogue reminds him of a joke, and he says that there were two people locked in an asylum, and one day they were unhappy with it and wanted to escape. So one guy, he sees a way to freedom. So it's clear that the two people that Joker is talking about in his story are himself and Batman. So he says that the first guy is able to jump over the ledge no problem, but the second guy, he's afraid of falling. And this is a reference to the path towards freedom and rehabilitation, because he saw that Batman also had a bad day just like him. And we all know the story of Batman, that his parents got shot in an alley and caused him to become an orphan. And he could have chose between the path of a hero and a criminal, but he chose to become a hero. And then the next part of the joke is that the first guy says he's going to pull out a flashlight, shine the beam across the edge, and then the second guy could walk across the beam to join him. Now, this is talking about how earlier in the scene where Batman offered him help, saying, hey, you're not alone, let me help you out so then you can become a better person. What really stands out to me about this scene is that Joker says the first guy is going to turn off the flashlight when he's halfway across, meaning he really thinks that no one can help him and that he's too far gone to join the good side. What's insane is that Joker doesn't doubt the fact that he could walk on literal light, which we all know is impossible. He's afraid that the person will turn off the flashlight instead. The Joker is out here thinking he's Kratos or Atreus, being able to walk on light without actually falling through. That shows the true insanity of the character. Lastly comes the most insane part. Joker starts laughing, and we all know him. He is the Joker. He laughs at a lot of things. But then Batman starts laughing. And I'm pretty sure the audience was left so shocked, because Batman usually never laughs. He's one of the most serious heroes in all of DC Comics. This is one of the most unsettling endings in superhero history. Batman and the Joker stand in the rain, and for the first time, they laugh together. Then the laughter suddenly stops, and the screen fades to black. So what actually happened in this scene? Did Batman finally understand the Joker? Did he give up on saving him? Or did something much darker occur? Throughout the story, the Joker tries to prove a single idea, that anyone can go insane after just one bad day. To test this, he kidnaps Commissioner Gordon and puts him through psychological torture, hoping to show that sanity is fragile. But Gordon doesn't break. Instead, he tells Batman to bring the Joker in by the book. That moment is crucial, because it proves that Joker's philosophy is wrong, and that sets up the final confrontation. In the final scene, Batman finds the Joker outside an abandoned carnival. It's raining. The chaos is over. The fight is finished. But instead of attacking him, Batman does something unexpected. He offers help, not as an enemy, not as a hero, but as a person. He tells the Joker their conflict will eventually end in death, and that there's still time to change. This is one of the rare moments where Batman shows genuine compassion towards him. The Joker responds by telling a joke. Two men escape from an insane asylum. They reach the roof and see another building nearby. The first man says he'll shine his flashlight across the gap so the second man can walk across the beam of light and join him. But the second man refuses. He says, "What do you think I am, crazy? You just turn it off when I'm halfway across." At first it sounds like nonsense, but it's actually a metaphor. Batman is offering a way out, a chance to change. But the Joker doesn't trust it. He believes he's too far gone, that redemption isn't possible, so he refuses the help. Then something strange happens. Batman laughs, not at the joke, but at the situation. For a brief moment, both men recognize the absurdity of their relationship. They realize they are trapped in a cycle. Batman will never stop chasing him. The Joker will never stop causing chaos. Neither can win, neither can escape. And that realization is so bleak that all they can do is laugh. This is not humor, it's resignation. There's another theory about this scene, one that has sparked debate for decades. Some viewers believe that Batman actually kills the Joker here. Here's why. The laughter suddenly stops. The camera focuses on the darkness, and the police sirens continue after the sound cuts out. It feels final, almost like the end of a life. But most creators and analysts agree that this scene is intentionally ambiguous. The sudden silence isn't proof of murder. It's meant to leave us uncomfortable, to remind us that their conflict has no clear resolution. At its core, this ending isn't about violence, it's about choice. Both Batman and the Joker experienced trauma, but they responded in different ways. Batman chose discipline, justice, control. The Joker chose chaos, despair, madness. And in that final moment, they understand each other completely. Not as enemies, not as reflections. Two people shaped by tragedy, walking different paths. So why does Batman laugh? Because for a brief second he sees the truth. The Joker can't be saved. The fight will never end. And the only thing left to do is laugh at the tragedy of it all. But yeah, that's my interpretation of the scene. I just really wanted to talk about it because of how amazing it is. Let me know if you agree, disagree, or have your own thoughts on it. This isn't usually my typical style of video that I make. I usually just make gameplay videos. So this is my first ever scene analysis. So I hope I did a good job. If there's any feedback that you can give me, I'll gladly take it. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.